welcome to the Oracle TV pop-up studio here at the Pagan Federation Conference in London. Very pleased to be able to catch up with an old friend, Melissa Harrington, who's giving a talk in about 10 minutes. Melissa, lovely to see you again.
Hi.
And now, what are you doing here today?
Oh, today I'm talking, because the conference theme is about sacred journeys,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about how the circle in Wicca is actually a maze rather than a circle.
Oh.
And we go right into the centre so that we can safely invoke our gods.
Yes.
And walk back out. And it's a mechanism to do magic and also work in the mundane world, walk between the worlds.
That's interesting. So is it okay for people who are maybe not oath-bound and initiated
Yes.
to understand this?
Yes.
You're not kind of like crossing any lines?
No.
Is it something that they can maybe adapt if they were doing other forms of
Yeah,
magic?
well, it's
or
actually
witchcraft?
just sort of looking through the different stages of creating a circle, and a lot of them will be doing circles, and
Yes.
using forms of it. And I'm actually going as far as saying, it's vital that if you're going to meet a group, even that cup of tea is a debriefing from the mundane world before you move into the setting up the
Yes.
temple and all that. It's like stage one before you get into the magical work.
Yeah.
And again, coming down afterwards, chatting and having a tea and biscuits. They're all actually really important parts of the ritual, as much as incantations, etc.
And how long have you been working with Wicca?
Oh God, it's about 25 years now. Part of the aging process.
Are you involved with Alexandrian or Gardnerian or both?
Well, a bit of both. I
Yeah.
was late enough into it to have initiators that have been initiated into both strands.
Yeah.
So I'm actually a hybrid, yeah.
Yeah.
But my husband had come in a bit earlier than me, and he was initiated separately into Alexandrian and Gardnerian.
Oh, I see.
So like many people today, we just do a complete mixture of the both that works for us.
Oh, is that quite radical? I mean, because
No.
I've come across so many people that it's like one camp or the other, and it's So I'm from the outside, so having just done more sort of hedge witch stuff, I'd say like. I could never understand the divide, so it's very
No.
refreshing to find somebody that's
There's
absorbing
very
both.
little divide these
Yeah.
days, lots of communication and community. There is still there's some people that are very proud of their tradition and where they come from and really like working in it. They've been trained very strongly in it. But with being a young witch in London, I was very busy partying and guesting with people, so I've seen so much that ours is quite a mixed tradition really. Although we often get branded Alexandrian because we do like our high magic, but
Yeah.
we're a mix.
So are you robed or skyclad when you work?
It just depends. Often skyclad at home
Yeah.
in the temple, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Outdoors, usually some sort of boots on because of ticks. I don't want Lyme's disease.
Yeah.
Not kinky boots and nothing else. No.
Well,
Robes,
Melissa,
robes.
I'm not one to judge, but you put that image in all of our minds. I think you're in great shape. Now
No,
you
no.
know.
Well, you can wear
High
whatever you
priestess,
like.
I've got an image now. The high priestess in the long boots.
Long boots, nothing else. No, I think you're going to go now that you want the whole armbands and
Yeah,
belts
yeah,
and
yeah.
scourge in one
That
hand.
works. That works too.
But no, we don't. No, it's far more boring than that.
Unless.
I'm afraid. So on a serious note, I've found as people wonder why do you do skyclad Wicca, and it is very daunting for a young woman.
Yeah.
Because you're actually concerned about your body, and you're also sort of used to lying down on a beach flat out, so everything's pert, and all this. But the minute you're in a circle in candlelight, everything drops away, and it's so normal and so easy. It's very, very liberating. But what I've found over 25 years is after babies, etc., your body changes, and you might actually need a bra or whatever. So you might
Yeah.
actually feel better in a robe, and it's not a dictatorial tradition. If you want to wear a
Yeah.
robe and you feel better in a robe for whatever reason, of course you can wear one.
Yeah.
And there's such beautiful robes at conferences like this that you can buy and
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yes.
And work with that
Yeah.
lovely priestess imagery and really
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally, I lend myself more to. I lean towards costume and
Yeah, exactly.
theatrics in
Using
that
the
way,
costume,
yeah.
but always in
Yeah.
some sort of sense of material, not something that's. I mean, the thing about skyclad, jumping all the cauldrons and all the candles, it's actually a safety precaution. It's quite a good safety precaution, so you do need to be careful. But I've got lots of nice robes that I interchange and
Yeah.
whatever. So whatever works.
So where do you see the future of magic going?
Well, I'm scared about the dumbing down of it. People work very hard training people, etc., but it's really hard to keep that up because we're not a temple tradition. We don't have priests being paid just to be priests. Everybody's doing it in their spare time. And, with having kids, we've certainly slowed down in the amount that we're doing for other people. So it's hard training people in that. I think there's a dumbing down as far as learning all of the material, and actually the tradition itself getting just called a nature religion often, when it's more than that, it's a magical tradition. But I think it will always keep going. But the future of magic, God, I think it's always been a secret tradition that has the keys to many aspects of the human psyche and of the universe, and it always will be, and it will always carry on, and it will always be misunderstood that we're all like these Maleficent characters or whatever, when we're all just plugging away learning all these maps. And
until we've got the long boots on, of course. We're not going to let that one go. And then we can pretend to be the Maleficent characters. Mind you, Maleficent was rather fabulous
she
film,
was fabulous.
great.
Yeah. But there will always be that image, because you're walking between the two worlds, really, and that's something that I'm interested in, is the idea of, can we be part of these two communities, and can we be part of both worlds, and how does it work together?
Wonderful. And will you teach a lot more yourself? If you're ever thinking about sort of publishing more to teach people?
What I want to do is actually publish some books. I've never had the time, but rather, what I hate now is the oral tradition. You get a new initiate, you take them all the way through yourself, individually, orally. It's fabulous. It's been done to me, but you can only pass it on so many times before you just feel like chewing the carpet, because you can't explain it one more time or hold one more hand to draw one more pentagram. And so I've become tougher and tougher. You know, if you can't learn that, don't come back until you've learnt it. And it gets to a point I'd rather just write a book, really.
Yes. Okay.
Sounds mean, but
no. I think it's very interesting to see the evolution of magical practice and of magical practitioners in relation to the modern world around. And you know, on the one hand, magic has become so widespread and sort of accepted, and I often wonder at where that leaves the integrity of the individual private groups. And where there are good things about increase of spread of knowledge, there's also then this watering down and this dumbing down.
I think they go hand in hand. As the knowledge spreads, you can't do that intense stuff all the time. There has to be an open form, and it just fascinates me too, like the future of paganism. I don't think it'll be a world religion at all, but it does need what you might call a soft form, easy listening sort of form. It does need that, and it shouldn't be denigrated at all. But I think that maybe some of the key traditions, people need to support them a little bit more in some ways.
Because the problem is that because with so much of it being oath bound, there's only so much you can say to people if you're putting out a book, or for example a video, an instructional video. There's only so much you can tell them.
I don't think you could do it on the video even, because it's a mystery tradition. It's really true that they can only experience it and thus understand it if they do it, and they can only really do it. They can do it themselves, or they can do it with guidance, but you cannot teach that in a book or a video. You can't ever see it. You know that as a filmmaker. The magic, the real magic, you can see visually. You photograph it, it's not there. You do get some funny odd effects, obviously, sometimes.
No, I mean, as a filmmaker, I see, and the photography, I see the magic happening in different ways. There are different levels of magic one can bring in with video and photography, but it's not the same magic as
the worked raw magic. You can make it
something different. It's a different element that comes.
You can portray it,
but
you can't record it actually. So people just have to do it for themselves to understand the stuff that they call the mysteries, which isn't mysteries. It's all there, but it just needs a particular concentration, which comes from the ritual. That's why the ritual's there.
So obviously we need Hogwarts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we need grants. And we need people paid to teach it. We do. But I mean, in the classical times, and it's happened in the past where people were studying these ancient traditions.
Absolutely.
It was part of it. Like John Dee was Queen Elizabeth's court astrologer and really high up in the court. This was happening. The best we got
was
now
a proper
like,
career, wasn't it? Proper job.
Russell Grant and things like that, you know, or it's lost but not forgotten. Could come back.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. I know you've got to go off and do your talk right now.
I do.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Carrie.
See you soon.